Now to start off our proclamations and give it over to the dignitaries, I'm going to invite Supervisor Manuel Perez to come up here.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well, happy birthday. Palo Verde Valley Transit Agency, 40 years. And we still got 40 more to go. And another 40 after that. You know, Mr. Mayor, thank you for your words as well. Council Member Joey, for your words as well, and George. I sense the pride and the love for your community. You know, and I have a strong affinity for Blythe myself. I might not be from here, but honestly, I always tell the story. I started coming out to Blythe when I was a kid. You know, being in sports and growing up in the Coachella Valley, we used to compete with each other, right? And quite frankly, Palo Verde was always tough. The Yellow Jackets, whether it was football or wrestling, and I always remembered. And you know, the sense of community is strong here. And you know, I also have a strong affinity for your area because it reminds me a lot of Coachella. You know, and when we were driving in, it reminds me a lot of Calexico. If anyone knows where Calexico is in Imperial County, you know, growing up as a kid, I spent a lot of time over there too because my mother's from Calexico. You know, hardworking people, struggling every day to make ends meet, but a strong sense of unity and a will to make sure that we bring about good change and opportunities for our folks. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate being here as your supervisor and, quite frankly, trying to continue the good work of those that came before me. Whether it was Supervisor Roy Wilson or Supervisor John Benoit, my goal is to try to continue their legacy and, quite frankly, create our own legacy as well, create it with you. There's a lot of work to be done still. And my commitment is to continue to do that work with you. So you should be proud of your community and of Pvvta. It's awesome. And the community members that are here, you should be proud. Those of you that are involved in policy making or in law enforcement or nonprofit organizations or the media, you should be proud. Our youth, you should be proud. Always be proud of your community, because that pride becomes love, and that love wholeheartedly, genuinely makes you want to do more for the people that you live with and the people around you. So, I love the history you gave, George. That was awesome. Good job. And I also appreciate your vision and the good work you do. And did people take a look at this brochure? You know, I was reading the back. It's pretty cool. Anyone take a look at that? Mindful of transit. Between the being here and arriving there, we have the getting by. We plan the route, the stop, the transfer, which bus, riding obsessed over time and the schedule. But life is lived between the stops, between the here and there, where it is always now and always on time, most of the time. That's pretty cool. So I got a proclamation here. On behalf of the County of Riverside and my colleagues Kevin Jeffries, John Taglioni, Chuck Washington, Mary and Ashley. If you don't mind, I'll read a few of these whereases. Whereas the Palo Verde Valley Transit Agency was established on January 28, 1978 as an independent governmental transportation authority created through a joint powers agreement between the City of Blythe and the County of Riverside. And whereas in its initial year of operation, the Palo Verde Valley Transit Agency served more than 4,000 riders in the City of Blythe with 2 fixed routes, Roadrunner and Jackrabbit. And whereas over the years, the Palo Verde Valley Transit Agency has grown to serve approximately 3,600 riders a month in the city of Blythe and surrounding communities. And whereas an exemplary community partner, the Palo Verde Valley Transit Agency works to provide safe, efficient transportation for special community events, including the Bluegrass Festival, Homecoming, and the Palo Verde Valley Outlook Conference. And whereas in 2015, the Palo Verde Valley Transit Agency celebrated the opening of its new operations facility, and in 2017, the agency, in partnership with the Riverside County Transportation Commission and other agencies, established the Blythe Wellness Express, a new transportation service that fills a critical transportation gap for Palo Verde Valley residents to access health care. And whereas on Saturday, January 27th, 2018, the Palo Verde Valley Transit Agency will celebrate its 40th anniversary of providing outstanding public transportation service to the residents of Blythe and surrounding communities. Now therefore, let it be resolved that the Board of Supervisors of Riverside County takes great pleasure in commemorating the 40th anniversary of Palo Verde Valley Transit Agency and extends best wishes for continued success and service. Jorge, George?
Thank you.
Thank you. If I just one last thing, we think about transportation of getting from one location to another location, but George just mentioned the story. We also are saving lives. I mean, that's a big deal, right? And so that compassion and that empathy is very important. And so who would have known that a transportation service would actually do that as well? That's a good thing. Thank you.
I want to invite our Assembly Member, Eduardo Garcia.
Good morning, everyone. It's a great day to be here in the beautiful community of Blythe. I don't know if I want to thank the supervisor for reminding us of those trips to Blythe to play sports, because coming from a 1 in 19, football trajectory, those are not good, memories, because they were long trips back home after a butt whooping, whether it was in baseball, football, or for that matter in wrestling. But it is great to be here, and certainly great to celebrate your 40th birthday as you continue to grow and provide the much necessary public transportation to your community, but also to the health needs of this community. And I want to talk a little bit about that. The partnership with Sunline could not be a better one. Sunline is at the cutting edge of not just technology, but of providing efficient and effective public transportation to the Coachella Valley region. And the partnership with Blythe just demonstrates your advancements as well in making sure that you're looking at the community holistically. Being able to provide public transportation to much needed medical services for the people who live here is extremely important. It is extremely important. Now, on one end, we could say, well, we shouldn't have to go that far to get those services. And one of the strategies ought to be that we continue to try to increase access to healthcare here in the community of Blythe. But in the meanwhile, that transportation from here to the Coachella Valley for the people who need those services is absolutely critical to keeping people alive, to making sure that ultimately a community that continues to thrive. I always look at healthy people means a healthy community. Healthy community means a vibrant economic community. And so that partnership should not go without being recognized, and the leadership of George and all of the folks that serve on this board. For us, it's extremely important. As your representative in Sacramento, I see my job as kind of two functions. One is try to reflect the opinions and the thinkings of you all here in Blythe and Sacramento when I make my decisions. And then the other is bring home the money. Bring home the money. And so I'm very optimistic and hopeful. And George has been part of some very important conversations to make sure that we get our hands on some more money for public transportation, for improving the roads here in the community of Blythe, for continuing the transition from the fossil fuel economy to a clean energy economy, and making sure that your buses here are also moving along those lines. And we know that there is a lot of money in the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund of California that Blythe and other communities like Blythe in our district, we are committed to making sure that those dollars get here. So those are the two functions that I see my job being at the California state level, and so I'm committed to that effort. We hope to be around to celebrate the 50th anniversary and be able to point to some great successes that come in the next 10 years. To George, to the leadership here, to all of the employees that were recognized, thank you for your work. This organization, or any organization, doesn't function without the actual people who make things happen. Your customer service to the people of Blythe goes above and beyond just taking people from point A to point B. As was mentioned, you're impacting the people who you serve on a regular basis. So on behalf of the California State Legislature, your assembly member, I also want to recognize the agency with a certificate of appreciation and recognition for your 40th anniversary. So George, Mr. Mayor, and of course Councilman, if you'd like to join us. Thank you again. Have a good day.
I want to invite California State Senator's Office, Glenn Miller, representing Jeff Stone.
It's an honor to be here on behalf of the senator. I mean, I've had a place on the river here in Blythe for many, many years, and you know, it's like home to me. Steaks and cakes. I come here on a consistent basis to enjoy the river, enjoy the community, and it's always been like family and friends. It couldn't be a greater organization than the Transportation Agency here, Palos Verde. George, your efforts, your staff, it says it all, not only by the commitment of your staff and what you've done, how many years you've been able to accumulate in your staff's time here, because that shows the pride not only do they have in their community, but also the pride they have in their jobs. And it shows every time that you are out here by your community's commitment to not only ride the buses, but for the wellness and all the extra transportation. Over 1 million people have ridden on this bus over the 40 years. And there's opportunities to even get better. As the Assemblyman said, there's tax credits out there, there's cap and trade money. I was a chairman of the Sunline Transit Agency for many years, especially when you got your first bus, and I remember the opportunities that they have to continue this. So as the city of Blythe continues to move forward, the senator's office will be here with you. The senator sends his regards. We're honored to be a small part of your 40th year anniversary and looking for many, many more. And Joey, you've been a great friend and a great advocate for this agency, and you'll continue to grow it. So on behalf of the senator's office, the 1 million people we represent, we want to say thank you to all of you, because you really are the city of Blythe, and you are really the agency that's moving us forward. So congratulations and God bless you. And Joey, if you could come up, George and Dale, I'm going to give you a certificate on behalf of the senator.
Make the picture bigger.
I would like to call upon Jacqueline Lopez with U.S. Congressman Raul Ruiz's office. Dr. Ruiz. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Reynolds and Councilmember Johnny Connick, and want to say a special thank you to George and your leadership and all the employees. What you do every single day is transformative and it's so powerful. Life and death situations, getting people to work on time. I just wanted to say thank you. On behalf of Congressman Ruiz, Dr. Ruiz had an event today in Banning, and he's out with our veterans, and he actually had a letter for me to read to you and board members. It says, "Dear friends, it is my honor to join you in celebrating the 40th anniversary of Palo Verde Transit Agency, Pvvta. Since its founding on January 28, 1978, your organization, your leaders, and your employees have been dedicated to providing the highest quality transportation service for the residents and visitors of Palo Verde Valley. In recognition of your 40th anniversary, I would like to recognize Pvvta's work in our community and your accomplishments. Pvvta has demonstrated a strong commitment to serve the transportation needs of our community. You run a successful transportation programs for those who need it the most, such as the Trip Mileage Reimbursement Program, which helps provide safe transportation for seniors, individuals with disabilities, and others in needs. Pvvta also offers convenient routes to unincorporated areas of Riverside County and understands the vital importance of protecting the environment. In 2001, you began operating compressed natural gas (CNG) buses, and in 2014, you built the CNG station. Pvvta has come a long way in 40 years. Our entire community is grateful for your dedication to provide a safe, sustainable transportation throughout the eastern Riverside County. Today, we celebrate your victories and your values for which you stand. I commend the Palo Verde Transportation Agency for your invaluable efforts to promote sustainable, reliable, and efficient transportation in our community. I extend best wishes for an outstanding event and look forward to working together as we move forward to a better future. Signed, Congressman Dr. Raul Ruiz. And at this time, George, Mayor, and Councilmember Jacqueline, if you can please come up. I also have a certificate. And again, it's presented to Palo Verde Transit Agency, celebrating 40 years of tremendous service to the people of Palo Verde Valley. On behalf of the 36th Congressional District, I thank you for the crucial service you provide to our constituents in rural but vital area of the district. Thank you so much for your service.
Was Dale going to do? I want to invite once again my friend, my colleague, Mayor Dale Reynolds, to represent the city of Blythe.
On behalf of the City of Blythe, we want to present Palo Verde Valley Transit Agency. In celebration of Palo Verde Valley Transit Agency's 40th anniversary, January 26, 1978 to January 26, 2018. Thank you for your 40 years of dedicated service to the citizens of the City of Blythe and the Palo Verde Valley, presented by the Blythe City Council on this 27th day of January 2018. Joey. Mallory. Councilman Joey Helby III.